So recently I've been inspired by uh, Timothy Chalamet and 33-year-old boomer that rants in the woods. Uh, and I've been thinking a lot about how I think it makes sense, like what they do, just like reciting what they think the word, like expressing their general thoughts on kind of just using it as a general diary. I've tried journaling in the past before, but I haven't found that to be too enjoyable. Like, it's alright. I don't really find it like a good habit for me personally. I just haven't been able to make it work. Um, but I do like just talking through things, and I find that helpful. It seems like a good excuse to do that, not to mention I can come back and I can reflect on those things. I think that would be generally good and positive for me. Also, I just have I feel like I have a lot of random general thoughts. At one point, I would like to do a video where I just list everything I've learned in my lifetime. Because my entire goal as a person living is simply just to find truth, whatever that is. I believe in some sense there's an ultimate truth to life, and I think it would be helpful to others to I don't I don't expect anyone to immediately go and just believe me. Like if I went and I made this huge video, I'm like, here's everything I learned from life. This is from my own experience, right? This is through my own investigation. I don't expect anyone to go and just accept these things. But I would like to see it be used more as something of a roadmap so that here's a list of things that have worked for me. This is the kind of person I am. If you would like and are interested in these sorts of things and you hold similar values, I think it would be useful to have a list of someone who is like minded, go explore these ideas and bring them back to you. Because ultimately, you cannot gain that level of knowledge in your lifetime. All the ideas that I like to explore are very difficult to explore. And so having things like books or novels where people go very far in depth on these sorts of topics is very useful because in specific domains, in contexts where they are capable, you're able to pull the best of that knowledge out of them. And so I can live, if I read like 10 books, let's say each book is like, it's a portion of someone's lifetime, right? Like, let's say it's a, depending on the topic as well. Like, because if I'm going and I'm learning about practical psychology, right? There's a guy I like to watch, Dr. K. He's had like 15 years of other people put in him, and he's trying to apply this stuff in a practical way at a very high level. He's already synthesized all this information at a very high level in a way that one would not be able to do in a very short period of time. So, in doing this and getting information from other people and these books and whatnot, I myself can synthesize the synthesizations of others. Gosh, I sound like AI. But I can take those, and I don't just like take one. I can coalesce these ideas from many different people, like Charisma on Command, Joe Hudson, Dr. K. But it's not just that. It's I will test these ideas and how they relate to me and my experiences as I am living through life. I will run these experiments of sorts to test, do I feel these things are accurate? And it's also useful to have these other perspectives that are much deeper in a topic that you wouldn't have ever been able to grasp had you not lived that lifetime. Simply, the scale of time makes a massive difference, right? If you don't if you don't have that time, you're not going to be able to handle it the same way. And you're not going to be able to process over long periods and see and relate those things. And someone else can help you do that and transfer that knowledge. So I think it would be super cool to do a video like that at some point, though I'm betting there may be more information I learn than what I will be able to convey. So that is why I would like to do this after that, like 5 minutes of yapping. That's why I would like to do this, because I think it would be very hard to capture it all, and I'm probably not going to remember it or write it down. So I think it would be easier just to go through all the times I have thought through these things and transfer that information that way, because there's a lot of like little things I do or I think of, and I think those little, even the little things would be valuable, but trying to find a structured, formatted way to present that, I think would be quite difficult. Like if I took something very small, like I'm just talking like even little habits. Like for example, I recently just started washing my hair using water, like just straight water. Because like for the longest time I've thought this these conditioners and they like okay, so I'm gonna put this thing in my hair so that I can take out all the things that I'm gonna put back into my hair using conditioner. Like what the hell are we doing here? Like why? That doesn't make any sense to me. So like I was like I was just yapping to AI one time and I was like, is there a way like I wish I just didn't have to deal with all this garbage. And then it came up with something like the no poo method or whatever, the no shampoo method. Not the constipation method, that would not be it. Um like just simple little things like this or like another thing, my because I've had a little bit of gingivitis, and so I didn't have the greatest flossing habits, in all honesty. But you know, what? Of course, once it became a problem, I started dealing with it. Right, I was flossing regularly. I was brushing regularly. You know, doing the mouthwash, doing all the jazz the dentists would tell you to do, and I was like, it wasn't working. I had done this for like a month and a half. It like got better, but it was like holding it was holding the line against it. It wasn't like progressing it backwards or making my dental healthier or making my gums healthier in any way. So I again like because it was a few weeks before, maybe a month. I found about this no poo method, and so I was looking into. I was like, what are other natural ways? Like I'm starting to question the very way we have hygiene. Like I'm just like told. You're just told stuff, right? And you just like because you're just learning about the world, you run with it because that's what you're told, and you imitate those that are around you. That's just humans. That's how we work. But at some point, I think you have to like start questioning things and reasoning things from first principles. Like like with the shampoo, it's like I'm gonna get this thing so I can take out the thing I'm gonna put back into my hair. Like that doesn't make sense. And it's like also I constantly think about what are the other things people have done before me? What are like my ancestors? What did they do before, shampoo company XYZ because I don't feel like saying a name. Um what did they do before that? Like humans have existed for who knows how long. Yeah, I don't know. A very long time without these sort of things, these commercialized products that you're sold. Like it feels unnecessary, and it's like should we look at our base and where we came from and like maybe return more to our natural state of being. And I mean like when we lived in nature, we were of the natural and we were acting in nature. Granted, it takes a bit of a different approach in the modern day. For example, my water here, maybe if I was out by some spring water or something, I could have just used like lake water or something to wash my hair. No biggie, right? But you get things like hard water in your pipes or something. Like you don't have the most amazing pipes, so you get more minerals. So you have to make some adaptations. Like maybe you have to wash a little more, but you have to like look into these things. Like I could try the no poo method, but it's like okay, but like then what is the underlying thing under that? Like for every level you go, there is a level beneath it, and so if you can understand the level beneath something, you can reason why something might be. Like I was finding, okay, I definitely do not have dandruff, but like I got this little white stuff. What is that? Okay, well, I've heard there's like minerals. You get like hard water, and there's minerals in your water. And if I'm just using water, and this is the only variable, then maybe there's something in that water. So of course, I look around, and it's like, yeah, having hard water could affect this. Yeah, I definitely went somewhere else with that. This is what I'm saying. I just like to do like more of this random conversational rant stuff, and just do like whatever I want, and be more open in the way I conversate about things. I think it could be useful to others and me. And similar to an interview I was watching our podcast with, I can't remember if it was in the podcast with Joe Hudson, Charisma on Command. I cannot remember his name at the moment, and Dr. K. But at some point, Dr. K mentioned, like, yes, I could have done all this research and all this scientific study stuff, but he mentioned a good point, which was the urgency of how information could affect the trajectory of one's life. Like, if you have one bad month and one bad test score, these things can butterfly. Now you can like, flap in the other direction, but if you only know how to flap one way, it's going to make it very difficult to move back in the direction you realize you would have liked to move or would have been more beneficial for you to move. Anyways, that's my rant.